Here we go on a Monday night, live in the upstate. This is First and Tim. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Got out and enjoyed some of that fall-like weather. About 30 minutes left till the Monday night showdown against the Cowboys and the Giants. Looking forward to that. So, if you guys are listening for the first time, or even my, fellow subscribers listening, so I'm getting used to this new podcast thing, and I'm trying out new things. And unfortunately for you guys, I wasn't able to get Friday's episode out. Excuse me. So every weekend I pick about 5 games that are played on Sunday that I think will be the games of the weekend. And so I had the Bucks to beat Green Bay on a close one. And we knew Mike Evans wasn't going to play with a suspension. And then right before the game, Julio wasn't going to play. So Tampa missed all 3 of their top wide receivers, all who are great. And their left tackle, Donovan Smith, and the Buccaneers came within 1 play of going to overtime. Oh, by the way, they're also using backups all over the offensive interior. If you're Green Bay, and I've seen Green Bay play one good healthy team this year, and they got crushed. They low-blowed Chicago, who can't complete passes. Tampa Bay's quarterback is going through a marriage crisis. Their top 3 weapons are out in a weapons league. Left tackle Donovan Smith, and that's obvious they need him, and it came down to 1 play. Green Bay has to be concerned. How the heck did Tampa Bay have more first downs, more passing first downs, better on fourth, and more passing yards? How's that possible? Green Bay has been reduced to winning one way: beating injury-riddled teams or teams that can't score. In Tampa Bay's case, they're both. They've got no juice, none of their best players. If you take Aaron Jones out of the Packers yesterday, and you take Allen Lazard out, and Tampa was healthy, would that game even be close? Do we know if Matt LaFleur is a great coach? He's beaten the Bears and the Lions. I don't know if he's great. He's barely above 500 against the Vikings. He can't beat the Niners. Yesterday was the first time they beat Brady, and it was an almost. Here's the other thing. Green Bay scored 3 points the second half, combined for the last 2 games. So if it's not on script, Aaron doesn't trust young receivers to ad-lib and make stuff up. We know that. If you have Rodgers, and in 2 back-to-back games, you have 3 points, 1 field goal, you have a problem. So, in game 1, Aaron goes to the rookie receivers. Game 2, afterwards, he says, I'm not going to change how I play. And you see what happened yesterday. His team fumbled in the first half. Of course, after that, Rodgers eye-rolled it, got disappointed. 8 drives, 7 punts, most of them 4 plays, 92 passing yards. After they had a teammate fumbled it, Roger rolled his eyes. Of course, Fox camera caught it. Disappointed with a teammate. Somebody let me down. I'm a victim. Woe is me. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, And they just stopped playing offense. This team needs patience, a mentor, because they have 2 really good young receivers. You better kindle a relationship with them. Find out to make it work. Because Green Bay can't score off the script this year. Scripted plays, they'll score. Take a lead, keep it close. Minnesota, what they do in the second half, Chicago, Tampa, because Rodgers isn't willing to ad-lib. In the second half, you have to go off script. You got to make stuff happen, and that's when a leader leads. Russell Wilson last night goes off script. I got to win the game. That's what you have to do late in games. Tom Brady yesterday, they got nothing to work with. Everyone is out. When did he have his best drive? Last drive of the game. Then also Fox caught Aaron's eyes then, and that's what Brady does. So this team, what they need is more than talent. They need a mentor. They need patience. Here's what will happen to Green Bay if you look at their schedule, okay? New England without Mac Jones, the Giants, the Jets, and the failing Commanders. So they'll roll to a 6-1 start, and everyone will start the Rodgers gonna win it fanboys. This team has got major problems. I don't see them as a top 10 in the league. They played one healthy team, got boxed, then they can't do anything in the second half. Been reduced to a run. They win one away. Low scoring. They can't beat teams. They don't move the ball. Chicago and Tampa Bay with injuries. That's who they can beat. That to me was a concerning win, and I'm not sure these can be fixable because Aaron doesn't want to be a mentor. He doesn't want to get to know his teammates. I don't think that's in his bag of tricks. Like he said, I'm not going to change the way I play. So, we know Buffalo is really good. I still say this evening Buffalo is one of the best teams in the league. But I see a trend now. You know, you can be a great company, and there can be a little bit of a disturbing trend. What I'm talking about covers more than a year. All right, starting last season, okay, so we'll take it back to a year. The Bills are 0-6 in close games. Only the Texans are that bad, according to last year. It's kind of weird, right? It would almost be like a fighter who has a first or second round knockouts, but anytime the fight goes 10 rounds, they can't win. Sounds like Tyson. Which is what we really compare Buffalo to. It's really interesting about this. Buffalo is the better team than Miami. Baltimore was a better team than Miami. But Miami deserves credit for figuring out ways to win. Buffalo dominated time of possession 3 times as many plays. They had double the first downs. Buffalo's the better team. Buffalo had major cluster injuries in the secondary. Half their defensive line was gone. It's Miami. It's hot. When you play any team in Miami in September, you're facing the team and you're facing the conditions. But here's what worries me. 6 years in with Buffalo and their excellent defensive coach, 6 years, still haven't developed a run game. McDermott developed a defensive line that's great. Linebackers, secondary, that's great. He has leaned into and solved his side of the ball. Here's why I worry. 6 years in, they still heavily rely on Josh Allen picking up yards running for the ball. Sort of like another defensive coach. Ron Rivera did this with Cam Newton, and often Mike Tomlin did it with Big Ben. Defensive coaches let those huge quarterbacks pick up yards and run things, and it doesn't last. That's why Cam fell over a cliff at 32. He aged overnight. Same with Big Ben. And Josh Allen, this cannot last. You got 90 snaps. He attempted 68 passes and 8 rush attempts. It feels very defensive coaches. By the way, Chicago's defensive coach can't get the offense right. Chargers defensive coach, offense can't get it right. Steelers defensive coach can't get the offense right. Bills defensive coach 6 years in can't develop a run game. This won't last. I said about Cam Newton and Big Ben. I think Josh Allen has a bit of both talents in him. He's a power runner. He's running guys over like Cam Newton did. He's got the arm, the deep ball like Ben, and a lot of qualities here that they share, but it won't last. And these defensive coaches love physicality. They love toughness. But do you get the sensibility of protecting your quarterback? 68 pass attempts, 8 carries for a northern team in sauna water with a roster that has major deficiencies due to the injuries all over the defense. Here's Sean McDermott afterwards.
You should win those games. We just didn't take care of the ball enough and come away with some takeaways. So, but again, I like the way we fought in all 3 phases till the end, and we've got to learn from it.
I thought Josh Allen was exhausted and a little sloppy at the end. Well, of course he is, because they rely so heavily on him for the offense. Look, I'm not saying Kansas City always has a great run game, but I never feel like it with Kansas City. It's all on Mahomes, even though he takes responsibility for it in the press conferences. I feel like it's Andy Reid's play design and they can at times run the ball efficiently. My homeboy is the center of it, the piece of it, but I don't feel like they fully rely on Mahomes. I'm starting to feel like this is Carolina with a defensive coach, where if Cam plays well, we win. If he doesn't, then they lose. They sometimes play downhill like Carolina did, and then they end up in a Super Bowl. But the consistency and close games with Cam, it creates the inability to create an offense outside of Cam. I mean, go to the last couple years with Pittsburgh. They had no run game, bad offensive line. It was Big Ben trying to save the day offensively with another coordinator that doesn't work in Pittsburgh. So I can love what Buffalo is all about and think they're the best team in the league. But this is a trend now. Only the Texans, since the start of last year, are as bad as Buffalo in close games. It's not a coincidence, folks. When you can't develop a consistent running game outside of Josh Allen, it's hard when you have a game and you want to ice it and you go to the ground. You know, Tom Brady, he turns to Leonard Fournette, he eats 3.5 minutes off the clock, and you lead by 8, and that's how the game ends. That's such a benefit with Aaron Jones with Rodgers or Fournette with Brady. That run game that ices games so you don't have to get in a shootout every week. Because Buffalo is great knocking people out of the first round. Some of these fights, they go 10 rounds. And you have to win those fights too in order to be the champ. There's a lot of talk about Jalen Hurts, and I have to say this to all the critics of Jalen Hurts. He's productive. Stop nitpicking. He's got an incredible work ethic. Right now he's got the 5th highest passer rating in the NFL. A lot of times first impressions are powerful, and he got replaced in college by Tua. He came in accurate and small, but I'll say this. For him, he's made giant leaps pre-snap, thrown the deep ball. He looks totally controlling the offense. He's getting over 300 yards passing. Yesterday, he made some tight window throws. He comes out on script as excellent. Off script is excellent in the second half. This kid's a gamer. Mac Jones, he's not getting the Matt Patricia calling plays vibe. He has 2 touchdowns and 5 picks. He's ranked last as a starting quarterback in the league. 6 giveaways total, last in the league for quarterbacks. And his passer rating is in the mid-70s. That's 31st in the NFL. Quarterbacks need help, especially limited quarterbacks. And now he's hurt, and that'll do him no favors. As he's trying to get snaps and figure out this offense, if he misses 6 to 8 weeks, then where do you go with these Joe Judge, Patricia play callers who seem outdated and out of touch? So if you follow NFL news, a couple months before the season started, Raekwon Smith asked to be traded from the Bears. And honestly, I think if we're going to trade him, they need to get some kind of offensive line or some weapons for Justin Fields. Well, actually, yesterday he had 16 tackles, a key interception to set up the game-winning field goal for the Bears. Yes, he is their best player, and yes, they need so much help offensively. Justin Fields completes like 7 or 8 throws a week. You can't win the NFL like that. But Raekwon Smith is so dominant. If you didn't know this defense or anything about football, you'd say, who's the guy making all the tackles and making all the plays? He's been invaluable for the Bears thus far. Switching over to some baseball news real quick. Albert Pujols made history with 2 bombs in Friday night against the Dodgers, making him the 4th Major League Baseball player to hit home runs in career. He's in the history books with Bonds, Hank Aaron, and Babe Ruth. Here's the soundbite.
Bless you. A swing, and there it goes! Left field! Way back! That's home run number 700! Pujols hits a 3-run homer, and he hit 699 and 700 at Dodger Stadium.
Every Cardinal is out of the dugout congratulating Albert Pujols. The Dodgers are on the top step, clapping for their former teammate and friend who they honored before the game today. Everybody in the ballpark is standing. What a great moment, a Hollywood moment here in LA.
One of the legends, clearly. All right, tonight you got the NFC divisional battle, the Cowboys and the Giants. The Giants are favored by 1.5. Dallas has won 9 of the last 10 games against the Giants, and sadly I'm going with Dallas in the under. The Giants are just a little weird. Even in the Eli years, they were just better away from home. I'm thinking if Micah Parsons has a game, one, I win at fantasy, and that's really all that matters because I need him to finish out at least 9 points tonight. If Dallas loses, well, you guys that have been listening to me, you know what's coming tomorrow, and that'll be quite entertaining. So, appreciate you guys for listening. Stay safe. Hope you guys have a good night, and we'll see you Wednesday. This is First and Tim.